Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Make Your Good Business Great. Today, I'm so pleased and thrilled and excited to introduce you to Elisabeth Manning from Fertile Living and Conscious Creation. And she runs an amazing coaching business where she helps business owners find their passion, birth their ideas, and make successful businesses. Hello, Elisabeth.
Hi. Thank you, Kim, for having me. This is really exciting for me.
Such a pleasure. So that our viewers get to know you as well as I know you, Elisabeth, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and your journey, to create what you have so far?
Absolutely. So I had to go through the same journey that other folks are hiring me for. Obviously, we teach what we most need to learn. So I went through the journey a long time ago of calling in my higher purpose. I wanted to know what it was that I was here on the planet to do. And I set out to make that my business, to really make it my business to understand what my purpose was. And that wasn't easy to do when you don't have a coach, you don't really know what books to go to, and you're just kind of forced to sit with your journal and listen. And came a series of 20 journals in about 2 years. And I was asking the deeper questions. Who would I be if I wasn't bound to needing to make money? What would I be doing with my time? What do I most desire for the world? What's missing in the world that would make the world a better place? Going and asking those deeper questions is what got me out, it kind of thrust me forward into a new place. And really what it came down to was in my pursuit of acting, which is what I thought I was supposed to be here to do because my parents met on stage. They were actors and performers. So I assumed, of course, I've got the gene, I should go there, and it was a passion for me for a long time through high school and college and everything. But I got clear that really what it was about standing on stage and giving someone an experience, a higher experience, elevating them transporting them in a journey to elevate them to a new place, to create worlds from nothing. That's what actors do. And so I got to the essence of what I was really loving about acting. It wasn't acting. It wasn't fame I was looking for. What I was looking for, though, when I had to look at my ego side, was I wanted to be seen. Yep. And at the time, a quote came from Marianne Williamson, just at the perfect time, right? That if you want to be a star in this world, you need to learn how to star in your own life first.
Right.
It really got my attention. I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. Because I really learned in that journey that we don't attract what we need. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. We attract what we are. So I had to be the person that I wanted to see in the world. I wanted to be the change. What was the change I wanted to see? I really got into, with myself, I had to look at my journey growing up, what my suffering was, what my lessons were. Yeah. And I learned something. Our biggest complaints in life when we're young, our complaints about what we didn't get from our parents or what was the bad, thing that happened. Things that we complain about, those complaints, if we were to flip them, those are our lessons. That's what we're here to learn. Yeah. And we attract those situations for our soul to learn them. And for me, I needed to see that, I needed to star in my own life before I was going to help someone else star in theirs. And I really got clear that my sole purpose after a time was to bring the highest light and the highest service, whatever that was, to humanity. That's what I wanted for humanity, the highest light, transformation, human potential. But then I had to look at where the breakdown was for that. Where's the breakdown? Why don't certain people heal? Why don't certain people hit their potential? We all seem to want it, but do we really? Do we really? So that forced me to look at myself, look and ask the deeper question about what causes potential, what causes us to hit our potential, and start there. Is it doing the personal work on ourselves? Is it self-growth? No, it actually starts before that. Is it childhood? Getting closer. Childhood is where the problems start. They kind of start there. And they're starting there because of our parents. So go back farther. Go back to the womb. Go back to before the womb, to the parents who are downloading their children with problems and projections of how this world is, and then they act accordingly. But really, when we're in the womb, we're pure potential, and we're downloaded with how the world works by the DNA of our parents to give us a blueprint, right? But what if we were to work with the parents to create a different blueprint? What if we were to heal our own wounds and forgive our parents and move beyond the limitations and beliefs that keep us small and keep us held back from our light, from our true potential? What if we worked on that? What kind of children would we bring through in the world? What kind of businesses would we bring through in the world if we really tapped into our true potential at the highest level first before taking action? What are those ingredients? So I learned about connecting with spirit, connecting with our source, working to understand what the difference is between spirit and ego and how they get along. Ego is really just it's the binder between soul and the body. We need the ego. It's the connector. But if we let the ego run things, then we're actually living an unfulfilled life. So I got really in touch with having meaning and having purpose, stepping into our purpose in this life from a place of understanding where our true potential really does come from, and developing that in people. So that's what I do now. And my work is now developing, it's fertile living, to create a fertile environment inside and out to birth our potential, whatever that is, if it's a baby, a business, a better life. So it's really combining the aspects of manifestation and meditation, right? And mindset, because we have to have that mindset in place as well. So that's what I do.
Wow. It sounds to me like it comes from a place which is so precious that from the beginning you were able to consciously conceive what you wanted. A lot of people, that would be viewing at the moment have fallen into their careers and therefore, may have been in corporate and then have taken all the skills that they have and have then built a business from that. But it's not necessarily from that core place that you've birthed from.
Yeah.
So your clients then, Elisabeth, given that I can imagine, because I would say it for myself, my business has come from my past. It wasn't actually necessarily a conscious thing. What do you do? How do you work with clients like me?
Like you. How do I work with clients like you?
Yeah, like what do you see as our greatest challenges, and what do you take people through, and what's the journey for companies?
Okay, that's a great question. And wow, where to start? First of all, I'd have to get to know where you perceive your blocks to be, because most people are struggling with one thing or another, and to identify what the relationship is to success and what your relationship is to time and where you find your energy drains. Like there are certain things that drain our energy just by thinking about them. And so we identify what those are and what gives us energy, and learning how to balance those two things is a really big it's a great tool just to learn those and understand those about ourselves. But to get to your question, somebody like you would be a great candidate for guiding through someone like you in a meditation, for example, to set intention. To set intention is to be at the level of energy and spirit before your thoughts and actions and outcomes take place. So what we do is, I'm just kind of honing in on one of the tips that the secrets of the trade that I work with. Is we really spend time in meditation, which is really, really important when it comes to tapping into the energy and potential of something that wants to be born. Because we have an idea of it, but then our spirit has something else, something better in mind. And we get to tap in up here about what that looks like, feels like, what it will be when you are in that space of manifesting that. And I can tell you from personal experience that I used these tools specifically for my life and wrote out every detail of what I wanted to experience in my day-to-day life, what my day-to-day life looked like, felt like, and how it affected others, down to the detail. And I felt my way into it. And I'm telling you, every single thing came true, down to I want a housekeeper, I want to cook, I want a husband who is so happy with his work that I don't ever have to worry about working again if I don't want to. I manifested all these things that were 5 years ago in my visions. In my visions, I say visions, but anyone can have these visions. If you have an imagination, you are a visionary. If you have a dream, you are a visionary. How do we make those dreams come true? So this is energy work to align you with that dream energetically first, because we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. So we have to be that instrument to allow that perfectly fine-tuned music to play through us. If we are out of tune, we're not going to play that masterpiece. Right? So we have to learn how to really align ourselves. One of the ways to do that is through intention, where you literally take time to visualize down to what that apple tastes like from that tree that is growing in your yard in 5 years. You visualize it and you breathe in that air and you feel your environment around you. What's out the window? What are you writing? When you look at your desk, what's on your desk? What's the cover of the book that you just wrote? What's the title of your workshop that you have in Italy happening in the summer? What is the name of your next business idea? So we look from spirit to the vision of it. We see it, we feel it. It's really important to feel it too. And we experience the nectar of what that energy is about, right? Well, that energy has a certain vibration to it. We attract what we are. So if you're feeling how good that's going to feel when it comes into your life, when you're seeing and taking it in, when you're really letting yourself have your vision, you're soaking it in like a sponge. You start to resonate at that level. Start to be that vibration. So setting intention is going to the end result, the ideal outcome, and you kind of fishing line it into your present time. And you hold that vision now, and you use that as a beacon, kind of like a bright light, like a flashlight, and you shine it down into your future. You shine it through your day. You hold that imagery, and there's a whole kind of lesson around this, but this is the chakra for creation, 7th chakra. And so we kind of hold that image up here and we play with that, kind of like we're wearing it like a crown. And when you wear it like that, you start to act differently. You start to think differently. You start to behave as if those things are really in your reality. And you start to attract people, places, and things that resonate with that reality. So it's like a game we're playing. We have to put our reality aside, our current reality aside a little bit, to play this imaginary world and almost overlap the two. So sometimes the brain's going to go, oh, that's not true. That's not true. It's not really real. That's your ego protecting you.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just say hi to it and then just bench it. And then come back to your imagination, your ideal. It feels good anyway. You might as well just let yourself have that good feeling. It feels really good and empowering. So yeah, the line of intention, it starts with intention, working at the level of spirit and energy. You're shining your light. It affects thoughts. It affects, after that, thoughts, words, follow thoughts.
Yep.
Emotions, follow your thoughts and words.
Yeah.
Or, it's just following that trajectory. And eventually your actions. And those actions, based on your intention, which is a vision of your end result, held now.
Yeah.
So real that it feels real now. That will lead you to that end result. And it's like a loop. It's a healthy loop, though.
Yeah.
Because we do this self-sabotage all the time. Why am I here again? Why am I not following through with that thing? What am I really afraid of? But this is a way to create a healthy, positive loop for creating what you actually do see coming into your future, something you really do want to create.
So beautiful. I feel quite alive from just listening to that process. So on a practical level, would you suggest to your clients to be doing that for 20 minutes a day, or, embodying it as much as you can all day long, or, how does that actually play out in our lives?
I think it's important for people to get connected to what it feels like somatically in your body.
Yeah.
Feel that resonance. So at first I would say definitely do 20 minutes just to sit with your vision. If anything else, just sit with your vision. Because I think a lot of why we don't create what we want is that we don't really give ourselves permission to have it right now. We always seem to think it's that elusive one day.
I even wonder, Elisabeth, whether we don't give ourselves the time to truly.
That's it. And that's why meditation is really taking that time to create space for what wants to be born.
Yeah. We
have to create the space. Why would God give us something if we're not making space for it anyway? Why would we even, and if you believe in God, right? Why would the universe bring you something that you're asking for if you're not making room for it or honoring it right now?
Yeah.
How do you honor your vision? You honor something, you create a relationship with something only after you've spent time with it. You have to, if you want to meet your soulmate, you have to spend time with that soulmate to get to know them. You have to get to know yourself. You have to understand through time what works and what doesn't work. Well, if we have a vision and that vision is precious to us, we need to show the universe and show ourselves that we're serious and that we honor what those creations are bringing us. What do they feel like now is to give yourself permission to have it now. People who don't give themselves permission to have it now are always talking about someday when I have all my ducks in a row, then I'll be worthy of it. Or I have to earn it. Or I have to work hard. And these are all myths. They're actually not truths. But problem is we make our beliefs true. Yeah. And what we want to do is start challenging our belief system to say, wait a minute, does this belief even work for me? And how can I rewrite that script to make it work for me? How can I create a new mantra that says, you know what, I'm going to choose that it can be easy and effortless, and that it's on its way to me right now.
Yeah.
And it's happening now. I'm going to say it's happening now. And I will tell you that that's actually the pivoting thing, that when things really started happening for me, it only happened after two things. One was I kept praying, God, I know that I'm flawed. I know that I have my, wounds that I need to heal and all this stuff that I need to fix. And I know that one day I'll be worthy of good things. And I heard a voice, this voice, intuitive message came through and said, what if you just said that you were done with all that? What if you just said you're done? Just claimed that you have learned all your lessons and that you have healed.
Mm-hmm.
What if you just let go of the idea that you need to fix more?
Yeah.
Or work harder or get there, wherever there is.
Yeah.
And that was like a switch that flipped inside of me. Oh my gosh, what if I just gave myself permission?
Yeah.
Well, then it brought in a whole flood of other things, fears. Who would I be if I were successful? Can I hold that much?
Yeah.
So, it just felt really timely for me because I needed to take that next step into success. And I found that I was actually afraid of success. So I pictured a thimble. I was only letting myself have a thimble full of good things. And I just imagined God was sort of stretching that thimble out just little by little. And that was me being uncomfortable in life. If I was uncomfortable, that's what was happening. God's stretching me out so I can hold more, so I can offer more, so I can give more in service. Yeah, so that was and then the second thing was just saying out loud whenever it came up, just saying, I expect good things, and it is happening now.
Yeah. It
is happening now. Catherine Ponder wrote a really good book on manifesting, and one of her mantras in there was, I am receiving. I am receiving now. I am receiving all of the wealth the universe has for me now. And she would just say, repeat that over and over again. And what you're doing is you're rewriting some kind of script, some subtle subconscious script, that it's like overlaying a new programming ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we set ourselves up to expect good things, we start receiving them. So meditation and setting aside time, you asked me about that. Yes. Spend an extra chunk of time creating space. Give yourself that. It's honoring of your creation. It's honoring of yourself. And you're actually saying yes to the universe. You're saying yes to your creations by doing that.
And saying yes to more of your business and your flow and your abundance coming.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, one of the thoughts that goes through my mind is, but I don't have time to do that. And I thought, well, I could start with working on that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. We catch the thought that hooks us, right? We catch it in that moment. That's the moment of opportunity for transformation right there. And you caught something that didn't work for you. And you're like, hang on. And you just ask your spirit to give you a better sentence, something that is a higher choice in that moment that could respond to life on life's terms. What would be a better mantra for you? I don't have time. What's the response to that?
Well, just to flip it would be, I have an amazing amount of time and space and flow. Something
to get
like
everything done that needs to get done for today. Yes. Perfect. And then the next step, though, is not to just say it kind of like a robot.
Yeah.
You have to feel it.
Yeah.
Because feeling is the human's way of, it's like that GPS, that internal guidance system that guides us to our goal. We have to feel into what we're saying. And it's a way to really up-level our creation process, our manifestation process. Our feelings have to match our thoughts. So if you're still feeling like you're not having enough time, but you say the mantra over and you overlay it like a Band-Aid, it's not really going to work because the two don't mesh. They're not the same vibration.
Yeah.
But when you work with yourself underneath that, I have plenty of time to get things done in the day. There is unlimited amounts of time and energy and resources to get everything done that I need to get done today. And everything is working itself out on my behalf.
Yeah.
Then you're leaning against that ocean of the universe, letting that ocean move through you and just do it all in a way for you. I mean, it really guides things to get done on your behalf, literally. But you're trusting something bigger than you when you say that. And when you do that, the universe conspires to support you, and we feel it. But we have to let it in through our emotional body. It's like a doorway inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
So the mind's a doorway, but so is the emotional body.
Mm.
And then magic can happen after that. And it just starts to unfold. Synchronicities start coming in, coincidences. Oh, you'll never get, I just got a call. I got it. The moment I let go of a resistance that I knew everything and had to control it all, that was something I just recently did at a retreat. Yes, I'm still working on myself, but I had to let go of that piece. As soon as I did, an agent called me for my book and said, I want to see your manuscript.
Amazing.
And so I have to say, I feel like, okay, seemingly unrelated. I didn't have a goal to get an agent at the retreat. I had a goal to let go of all blocks that kept me small.
Yeah, right.
And if I'm willing to do that, these amazing creations start coming through beyond your wildest imagination, you know?
Mm.
So,
Mm. I was going to say, Elisabeth, it's time you wrote a book, but you've already done it.
Well, I did it in the realm of fertility because that's just my passion about helping children into a better world, helping the children through enlightened parents.
Yeah.
It just feels like the snowball effect. We're going to be able to change the world one child at a time through parents that are awake.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this book called The Sacred Life of Fertility, and it's not out yet, but I have first 2 chapters available because I want to give people a taste of it and a little snack, to taste. But no, it's the other kind of book isn't really calling to me yet. But you never know. You never know.
You never know. That's great. And tell me, Elisabeth, for you in your business right now, given that you come from a very different place to how a lot of businesses are actually birthed, what are the challenges that you're experiencing, in your evolution right now that you could share with us so that we could, relate and work through that for ourselves as well?
I think it ties to the idea that I have to do it all myself.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah. It really took me a long time to ask for help.
Yeah.
But, there comes a time, though, I have to say, there really is some value in being the jack of all trades in your business to understand different elements and timelines and respect for your VA or for the people that you hire, respect for their timelines, understanding the energy and that goes into something. I do see the value in that. And I've found that I have great joy in designing my own graphic stuff or, great joy in designing some of my landing pages. And so some of those things bring creative joy for me. So go ahead and do those things that bring you joy, but understand that there does come a time in your business where you don't need to ask for help until you are so busy and so overwhelmed that it's time to ask for help. And you kind of know that tipping point. You do know it. It's just after you know it, how long do you wait and suffer? Right? And so lean into the tipping point for you. What's your tipping point? How are you going to know you're too busy? And for me, I'll tell you my experience because I'm sitting in session with I'm doing energy work with clients, helping them connect with their higher self, their true vision, their purpose for their life. their business vision, their goals, and working from a being state to get things done rather than an effortful doing state. And so we work at this level, very high level energy. So if I'm not able to meditate and connect with my higher self and get into that centered, clear, connected place, I'm in trouble. So that's how I know that I'm out of my center and I have to go back to the basics myself. And it's just because I'm spreading myself too thin and I need to farm out some things and not be so busy. You know, they say, there was a quote I heard a long time ago, God, I'm too busy to pray for you. You know, I'm too busy to pray. Right?
I heard if you're too busy to meditate for 20 minutes, then you better meditate for the whole day.
That's what I was going to say. It's like if you're saying I'm too busy to pray, you're actually too busy not to pray.
Yeah. One of the points for me when I realized I needed to, you know, get a little bit more help and, you know, actually around the home rather than, yes, in the business, but also, you know, get the cleaner, get the cars washed, get all that sort of stuff managed, was my son draws me a picture. He's 6 years old. He draws me a picture of me on a computer. That was my portrait. And I thought, I know, right? It's so super cute. I've actually pinned it to my computer, like on the outside, so that I remember to, you know, that's his viewpoint of me. It's mummy and the computer. So, you know, after that moment, I did implement a few, you know, strategic changes in the home so that, you know, I'd be seen as the happy mummy, like walking the dog or something instead.
Well, I'll tell you, I work with a lot of moms having really high power, high level businesses. Okay. One of them being Amy Ehlers. I don't know if you've heard of Amy Ehlers. She does the inner mean girl work in the States. She has 2 girls now, and she's doing a program called the Mama Truth, which is about getting down and dirty, about understanding your angst, being a parent and balancing a business and all of that. And the reason I'm bringing her up is she had to learn it too, right? And I got to be her coach in calling in her second child and also helping her balance the work-life family thing. And so she's just one example of the many women who struggle with this. And it's pretty big. You know, there's a lot of women who have had their businesses really be successful, and then they're struggling to have children. And there's this underlying fear that they're going to lose themselves or lose their freedom. But what's interesting is once they have their children, they mend that, right? It works out. You just mend it. But one thing that I want to encourage you to do is show your children who you are. Don't be afraid to show them your drawing board or your paints or your jewelry that you used to design before your child came along. Show them who you are. So when they do a drawing of mommy, it's not always at the computer, right? Those elements of you help remind yourself when you show your kids those other aspects, the artist in you, the walker, the gardener, the joy of, you know, cooking, whatever those things are that you love to do, you're inviting them into that world as well. And my point to this is that we honor all aspects of ourself. We don't need to separate business from baby. It's all one creation, really. We're here to really serve and nurture life, however that comes out,
in all
however it has to be born. Service and nurturing. And so it's just, what kind of service do you want to provide? What is that going to be about for you? But I was just thinking that reminded me of the movie The Shift. Have you ever seen The Shift? Wayne Dyer's movie. It's good. It's really good. It highlights a woman who has kids who her kids don't see her or know who she is because she never really showed them who she really is. And another woman who's very high power, very rich, in a childless marriage, unhappy marriage, but she really wants a kid. So here's a mom who wonders if having kids was a good idea because she lost herself in it. And then there's a woman who wants to find herself in children, you know, to find meaning. So it's just, what do we want to create?
That's and spending the time to journey into the truth of that. That's what I've got from talking to you today.
Our values.
Yeah. Now, just a question before we go. What what for you has been one of those books that has just been magic for you?
Oh, that's a great question. Hands down, in my beginning of the journey, Return to Love by Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, hands down. She's amazing. And, speaking of that, who is your guru?
Who is my guru? I would say that would be probably Marianne Williamson again. Yeah.
She's pretty hot. I actually got to interview her this year, and I brag about it all the time.
Jealous. I'm so jealous. That and I have to say, I just admire Oprah.
Yeah.
I admire her. Yeah. I admire her because she's able to be vulnerable and grow with her audience. And then she grew up. And watched her. You know?
And we all grew with her. I think that's one of the beautiful things about Oprah as well. Like, as she shifted and changed, we all did.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, it's just been so great having you and your insights, Elisabeth, because, I think our viewers, will take away, rebirthing certain parts of their business, or maybe they're looking at the whole thing. And you've given us some really valuable information and ideas and depth that we can do that with. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and really exciting to see all the other interviews that you put on. I'm going to learn something too. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea. So thank you so much, Elisabeth, and we'll see you all tomorrow for the next interview. Bye, everybody.